Money FM 89.3, best of the afternoon update. Eco Money on Money FM 89.3.
You're listening to Money FM 89.3. I'm Rachel Kelly. Now, you may be familiar with the term carbon footprint, but do you know how significant yours is or even how to track it on a daily basis? Well, now there is a way to perhaps make this easier for you. DBS has launched LiveBetter, and it's got Singapore's first carbon-conscious tool to help customers track and offset their carbon footprint. Want to find out more? Well, we're going to do just that. We're joined on the line now by Sourabh Sharma, who is Executive Director of Digital Banking at DBS Consumer Banking Group. Sourabh, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello. Hi, Rachel. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy to join here.
Good to have you with us. So, Sourabh, let's start off. Perhaps you can talk to us a little bit more about LiveBetter before we get into the carbon calculator. What was the concept behind the launch? Why launch LiveBetter?
Yeah, sustainability is something which is playing on all our minds, and we are all anxious about climate change and what we can do. And while you and me as individuals are doing their own part, when we were at DBS, we thought that how we can create something which can help all our individual Singaporeans be able to fight climate change and really give them the tools to amplify their fight against climate change. And that's how the whole genesis of LiveBetter came about, to make it very, very easy and convenient for people to be able to take sustainable actions and fight climate change.
So how does this work? This is part of the DBS digital banking app.
Yes, that's right. Right inside the digital banking app, DigiBank app, you can go ahead and look at the LiveBetter section from the dashboard, and you will land on a whole new section which has various varieties of actions which you can take. So you can give to eco-friendly organizations which are fighting climate change in Singapore, or you can even invest in green funds, which are funds basically which do not harm the planet, as well as read about interesting, make yourself aware about sustainability. So you'll be able to read what is ESG funds, what is carbon footprint, etc., etc. So we do a whole lot of education awareness. And then most recently, we have launched carbon footprint tracking as well.
So what kind of traction have you seen since launching the app? Because the app's been out for a few months now, hasn't it?
Yeah, the response has been great. We have had almost 250,000 customers who have taken an action through the app. What is most interesting is that around $8 million had been invested in green funds via LiveBetter. So that's great, because that funds could have otherwise gone to regular funds which are climate polluting. And under Give Better, we have seen $700,000 plus of money going to eco-friendly organizations and social enterprises in Singapore.
That's interesting. And so is this part of Offset? Okay, let's get to Offset now, because you've got some new features that have launched, Track Better and Offset Better. What do these do, and how are they useful to users?
Yeah, so we realize that, if we want to help our customers reduce their carbon footprint, the first thing is that they should be able to measure it month and month just for each and every transaction. So what we launched is Track Better, which calculates or estimates the carbon footprint based on your actual daily card spends, whether you use a DBS credit card or even a debit card, right? So we have, different emissions factor for each category, like transport and travel and shopping and utilities. And then based on the actual amount you spend on that particular category, we are able to estimate the carbon footprint. So every month you can see the various, what are your top 10, notorious transactions which have created the maximum carbon footprint, and which is the categories in which you are creating the carbon footprint.
That's
so
interesting.
You can track your monthly trend.
So you can track, analyze, and improve, right? So I'm looking at mine for July, although I know we're not at the end of July yet, but my greenhouse gas emissions for this month, 849 kg. My goodness. At the top, I've got food. Okay, that says a lot about. So my food makes up 627 kg of that, transport 153 kg, and shopping is just 69 kg. And so the app is interesting because it's got where I am in comparison to what the Singapore average is, which is 985 kg a month. But there's also a goal here, which is 259 kg. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so the Singaporean average is self-explanatory, but the goal is basically if we have to get towards 1.5 degrees centigrade and climate warm, that is the amount of carbon footprint which each Singaporean should ideally emit, that or lower. So that's the kind of the target we should get to. But let me tell you, this is carbon footprint only from your DBS cards, right? So you might be spending on other cards, so that is of course not tracked in this one.
That's right. So if you do want to track it, you need to consciously do so through the cards and the app. But that's quite a drop from almost 900 to 259. I'll have to be more conscious of what I'm eating, I think, there. That is a sign. Okay, so tell us more about Track Better and, Offset Better. That's what I want to hear more about, because there's a button now that I can click that says Offset Now. So I'm then given options. Tell us more about those.
Sure. So, of course, we want everybody to reduce their carbon footprint. But not everybody can change their lifestyle drastically. So we say that, okay, whatever is the unavoidable carbon footprint, because you have to order food, you have to go eat out, etc., we give you a very simple way to offset your carbon footprint by investing in projects which are absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So this is in the form that we purchase carbon credits for our customers on their behalf. So the money is invested in, projects which are reforestation projects. You can even browse. We mentioned this clearly in the app. So we have a reforestation project in Cambodia. We have another one in Indonesia. So these are typically projects which are doing a lot of reforestation and afforestation. So they are, planting trees, and then those absorb the CO2. So the logic is that if you emit an X amount of CO2 into the atmosphere, you can potentially invest in something which is absorbing the same amount, and that's how you hit carbon neutral. So
I see.
That's the whole idea.
That's interesting. So it's purchasing the carbon credits through the app that DBS has already bought on behalf of consumers.
Yeah. So at least the least you can do is offset your carbon footprint so that at least you become carbon neutral for that particular month.
Okay. And there's a lot of information on the app as well. You've also got LiveBetter articles. You've got different types of campaigns as well that you can find out and read about. So and you've got partners here. I can see you've got nature societies come up here as well. You can go and donate to some of these Give Better campaigns. So perhaps you can tell us about the development of this particular app, because I understand that DBS chose to design Track Better in-house. Can you tell us why, and how does it work in comparison to other carbon calculators out there?
Yeah, so we scan the carbon calculators that are out there in the market. Most of them, because they don't have access to your actual transaction data and transaction amount, right? They ask you like 20 questions about how many people are there in your house, what kind of car you drive, what is the estimate of your food expenditures every month, and then they estimate it, right? So it requires the customers to be very honest and be diligent about answering all that. So then we looked at some of the other solutions in the market which take this transaction amount and multiply it by emissions factor. But most of the solutions were Europe-based, or they were based on global averages. So which do not are not very accurate for the Singapore economy and the supply chains which we have here. That's why we decided to build our own emissions factors methodology. And then we got a third party, actually, SITM, which is under A-STAR, to actually verify the entire methodology for us so that we make sure that everything is kosher.
Did any challenges faced in developing the app?
Oh, yeah, totally. So the entire ideation and everything was done during COVID. So, May and June of 2020.
Right.
Yeah. So it was quite a bit of challenge because everybody was remote and, doing ideation and coming up with what should be the next feature, etc., and the roadmap. It's quite hard when you're doing it remotely. But, the initial team which got together was quite passionate about sustainability. So we had very regular meetings and we shared our ideas, with us, all of us regularly, and then finally we got a small budget allocated to go ahead and develop it. Which is why you see even the development, it happened quite fast. Within less than 6 months, we were able to launch it by the end of last year.
And since that, what are some of the interesting insights and trends that you've observed from consumers when it comes to sustainability and digital habits? I mean, you already mentioned some big numbers in terms of the amount that's been channeled to sustainable investments, the amount that's been channeled to donations, but anything else that surprised you?
I think when customers are able to see the impact of their contributions, I think that really drives a strong virtuous cycle. So it's very important that they are able to see the impact. So when you see your carbon footprint, when you see that you are able to offset it. So these are some of the things which we are, taking in as feedback, and we're going to continue building out some more features around that in the coming months.
And speaking of more features, what else can we expect?
Yeah, so we want to, improve our carbon footprint tracking. Right now, it's, very broad-based, I would say. So if you go and, spend $25 at McDonald's, and I spend $25, but I only had a salad, right now, the carbon footprint would be estimated the same. But we want to bring in individual choices also. So, we'll be taking in those inputs so that we can show that, hey, Rachel, if you had a vegetarian meal or you went to a vegetarian restaurant, then here is the reduced carbon footprint which you have created. So that is something, and then we'll continue to develop more features. This is just the beginning. I think we need to give a lot more tools to people to be able to climate change, because you can't expect some people to do everything. It needs to be millions of people doing just a little bit of things, right? And that's how you're going to win this fight.
That's right.
So we're going to create more and more use cases.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share all of those updates on the LiveBetter app with us.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Just
Rachel,
out of
for having
curiosity,
me.
What's your monthly usage?
Yeah, so for the month of June, I had a whopping 1,600 kgs.
Oh, my goodness. I don't feel so bad about my 800 now.
Yeah, but that's because I had some flight tickets built into it. Yeah, but July is much better. Till now, I only have around 530 kgs. Okay. And it's mostly food.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. We are a nation of foodies. Well, thank you so much again for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you. We've been speaking with Sourabh Sharma, Executive Director of Digital Banking at DBS Consumer Banking Group. You're listening to Money FM 89.3.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at moneyfm893.sg or download our audio app. That's AWEDIO. Available on Google Play or the App Store.